morning, YouTube. It's about 3:30 in the morning here, down here in warm Phoenix, Arizona. Man, I got here yesterday, and just as I said in my last video, my reefer ran the rest of the day and pretty much all night. I mean, it did finally start shutting off every now and again after it got dark. I think it got down to like 65 here last night. The high yesterday was like 96. And just as I also said, I nearly ran out of fuel in the reefer. When I got up this morning, I just received an alarm saying that I was down to like 3 gallons. So it was a close call. Good thing is I was right at a low, so it's not that big of a deal. As a matter of fact, you can see I'm right across the street. I almost thought about walking over there and getting a shower because I've heard that this place takes forever to unload you. But they're already unloading me. I was actually surprised. As you can see, I've got the red light. They're hooked to me. I'm bouncing around, so they're back there. I haven't got a pre-plan yet, but to be honest with you, I kind of hope that I was kind of hoping they would take a little longer to unload me which I heard they take forever to get the paperwork done here, so I don't know, we'll see. But I was hoping to give time for my dispatcher to come in. I don't like weekend or night dispatchers much. There is one dispatcher that I deal with. His name's Justin. I don't know his last name, and even if I did, I probably wouldn't put it on here. But man, I really like him. He's a good dude, you know, and he tries to do right by me. So does my head dispatcher as well, fleet manager, dispatcher, whichever you want to call them. So they both try to do good by me. I mean, I respect the crap out of both of them. There's another one, Jamie. I haven't heard anything from him in a long time. Steven's my head dispatcher. But yeah, Jamie, I haven't heard anything out of him for a while. But he's another one I didn't know if I'd like him at first, but I like him. Those three are pretty much the only three that I care for. The rest of them that I deal with, I either don't know them or I haven't had good interactions with them. So I don't know. I don't know if they'll give me a pre-plan or if I'll be sitting a little while. But I do know this. This is probably the last time that I bring a frozen load down here from early spring to late fall. Wintertime I'll come down here, but any frozen loads, this will probably be the last time. It's just too hot. It's too hot. Reefer runs all the time. The only reason I brought this load was because I had just started the YouTube channel, and I thought, hey, that'd be a good run to show on my YouTube channel, you know. And plus, it was a long run. I had a downhill, you know, a downgrade, 6% downgrade, so I thought it'd be good to test the truck out. So I had my reasons of why I brought it. Here's the reasons why I shouldn't have. Very hot, reefer runs all the time. That's one of the main reasons. The other reason is it didn't pay that good. Close maybe to $1.50 a mile. But by the time you figure in the, I don't know, $20, $30 in tolls that I had to pay, maybe around $20 bucks. I'm not really sure. I'll have to look at my settlement when I get it. So you figure in the tolls, that's extra money coming out. And then the reefer running all the time. It was literally nearly on empty this morning, so I had to fill it up. I don't remember how much it was to fill it up, but it's not very cheap. So by the time it's all said and done, it's like $1, probably like more like $1.35 maybe or something a mile, if that. So it really wasn't worth it on the pay. Again, if it wasn't for the other reasons, I would have turned it down. Also, one of the reasons I went ahead and brought it, because I asked the night dispatch before I picked it up. I said, how much does it weigh and what's the temperature? Those are two questions you should ask when you're running a load in very hot temperatures. And running in the mountains. If you're running in the mountains, you don't want to be fully loaded. Not really. I mean, I run fully loaded loads, but it's because they pay good. This one didn't pay very well. Good thing is I didn't really have to climb too many mountains. It was mostly downhill. But now, I'm probably not going to get a great paying load coming out of here. And it's going to be uphill, most likely, coming out. If I hit I-10, I'm able to go towards Texas. Maybe not. But if I have to go back up I-17 towards Flagstaff, yeah, definitely going to be some mountain climbing. Probably the worst mountain climbing out of here. Like I said, I-10 East. I don't remember it being too bad. It's been a while since I ran that route. I don't remember it being too bad. I-10 West, going towards Southern California. I think there is a little bit of climbing, but I don't think it's too bad that way either. But it's been a while since I ran that route. But I know for sure I-17, because usually bad memories are seared in your mind, or they are in mine. And yeah, I remember having to climb out of here before up I-17 and going north, and yeah, it's not too pleasant, especially when you have a heavy load. So I don't know. Just have to see what I'm going to get out of here. I figured it's probably going to be heavy. Probably not going to be paying good. So yeah, two questions you should ask is the weight and the temp. I was told -5 when I picked it up. No, it's -10. That's even worse. -5, that's borderline. I was like, I knew it was still going to have a little struggle at -5, but it seems like once you start getting below that, oh man, that's why I hate ice cream loads. Ice cream loads run at -20, and it is hard for these reefers to keep up with that -20, especially older trailers. That's been roughed up, probably got holes here and there. Doors may not seal just perfectly. They don't do very well, especially the warmer the weather, the worse. If you want to run an ice cream load in the winter, okay, but yeah, warmer weather, screw that. Unless you just have to take it to get out of somewhere. I've ran like one ice cream load in the past year. So those two questions there. I'm kind of trying to, I guess, teach a little bit of a lesson here. Those two questions there. How much does it weigh? What's the temp? Especially coming down here to warm areas and mountainous regions for the weight. Something else though that you need to be sure of, and something that I do, because crime those companies that don't give you the exact mileage. They get their mileage zip code to zip code. Now, I call it air miles. I said that to my dispatcher, and he's like, what? I said air miles, which is a straight line. So I see what his point was, because he corrected me. He's like, we go from zip code to zip code. Okay, I understand. Basically what they do is a straight line from one zip code to another zip code to another zip code. So they don't necessarily go from say a straight line from here to, say, back to Springfield. They go from here to a straight line to a certain zip code, and then maybe from that zip code straight to Springfield or wherever your destination is. That's how they figure their miles, and it's always short. So second lesson is to when you're looking at your load and you see that you're like, oh, well, this pays $1.60, $1.70. That's not too bad. I'll run with it. No, it don't pay that. Unless it's a short run, then you're gonna most likely be real close on that price. Because short runs, typically you're only going to be off a few miles. But say like this run right here, it actually wasn't off horribly bad. I was kind of surprised. But the longer the run, most likely the more miles it's going to be off. Especially, again, like mountainous areas and stuff, because you got a lot of curvy roads and things like that. Be sure that you look up like on your GPS, look up your route that you're going to take, because you're going to have to anyway because of trip planning. You need to trip plan and see what the miles are. Then take that and divide your miles by the price, or the price by the miles. Divide those and see what you come up with. Most likely it's not going to be like if you take the miles they show that you're going to run and you divide that from the price, you're most likely going to get a higher price. You're going to be like, oh yeah, that's not too bad. And then when you do the actual miles, especially like I said, the longer run, I've also noticed it depends on what angle through the country you're going at. If you're going from straight east to west, you're going to lose miles, especially the longer the run. But if you're close to, say, like I-40, then it won't be as bad off if you got to run just straight down I-40. If you have to run any angles, it seems like those are worse, even worse. But my point is, make sure you do that. Make sure you check your actual miles and you figure that out. You figure it up, because there's been times that I was sorely disappointed. These are things that I've had to learn on my own. My trainer, he kind of taught me a little bit about what to look for, but I kind of had to figure that part out on my own, that hey, I'm getting gypped some miles here. And of course, my fleet manager, he was like, yeah, I've run that by Prime. Told him, we would all make more money if we would go by the actual miles instead of zip code to zip code. And so yeah, before you take a load, check those things out. Also, before you take a load, learn your reload areas. I'm still learning. I'm definitely better than I was, but I'm still learning. I've kind of, it's like some guys have caught on way quicker than me on that. I for some reason, I don't know. I sometimes live my life in a blur, I think. I don't know. Or maybe I focused on other things too much. Really not sure. I've seen another prime driver. He said, you know, take everything they give you the first year and pay attention to what you get, and then go from there. Well, when I was with my trainer, he told me whenever he'd leave me on his truck by myself, he first told me, he said, you're the only person I've let take my truck with me not on it. And then second, he said, take whatever they give you. Don't give them no shit. I said, okay. So I did. And then I kind of feel like that was a little bit of a bad habit, though. I see what he was saying, because that was my first year, was running with him. Then my second year, I started learning, you know, to some of the things of watching the pay and watching for the actual miles and stuff like that. And I started turning loads down because I started getting a little bit of a grasp on things. But here I am, I'm on my third year, and yes, I'm a lot better at it, and yes, I've learned quite a bit, but yes, there's still quite a bit I think I need to learn, and I feel like I should have learned by now. Maybe that's just the way I feel, but I just do. I feel like I should have learned that by now. So yeah, I just wanted to make this little video. It's kind of like a learning video. I may make a second video for the day. I know there's other things I want to cover, but I wanted to kind of, because I've been doing some long videos, so I kind of wanted to do some shorter videos. Just not to take up so much of your guys' time. But anyways, yeah, so lesson for the day, especially, you know, if you're going to be a lease driver and you're you're going anywhere, make sure you watch your weights, you know, on where you're going. Make sure you watch your temperatures on where you're going. Hot weather, you know, below freezing loads, you might not want to take that. Heavy weights running mountains, you might not want to take that, unless it pays really well. If it pays really well, go ahead, take it. If it's going to a great reload area, you also might think about taking it. And last but not least, make sure you figure up your actual miles, see where you're going, and look at that when it comes to the pay, because you don't want to look at $1.50 load thinking it's good, and it end up only paying $1.25 or $1.30. So just watch out for those things. All right, I'll catch y'all in the next vid. Be safe.